So are you worried because it's live?
Am I? No, I no, I like doing this kind of stuff.
This stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
Talking to fishermen. Oh, there we go. That looks better. One, two. I'm waiting for one more. Oh, yes. And gallery view. Got to do that so people know who's here. And refresh on Facebook. Let's see if Facebook knows I'm live. Oh my God, Facebook knows we're live. I see you on there. This is so awesome.
I hope I don't break Facebook.
You won't. If I haven't broken it yet, you won't break it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All
Bring it
right,
on,
and we are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, with the No BS World Tour. I'm sitting here with the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Twyford from the West Palm Beach Fishing Club here in downtown West Palm Beach, Florida, the second oldest fishing club in our nation. Am I correct by saying that?
Yeah, it's close enough. That's definitely close enough. I think the Catalina, tuna club has us by a handful of years, but
Well, that's why I said the second oldest.
this is one of the oldest sport fishing clubs in America. It's hallowed ground, Fly. It's hallowed ground.
It is hallowed ground. I'm just so happy that it's in my hometown.
It's a special
How lucky am I that I get to have it in my hometown?
Well, how lucky are we that it's still here? I mean, this is an old piece of Florida. Think about South Florida. There's not a lot of old stuff around here. So,
Whoa. Wait a second. It's South Florida. There's a lot of old stuff in South Florida.
this is a piece of old fishing stuff that's still around. And there's been a lot of great clubs that have come and gone, Fly, that aren't around anymore. And this one has stood the test of time since 1934. And this wonderful building, we call this building the, those that are watching that are golfers, can relate to the Butler cabin at Augusta National. Well, this little clubhouse here on 5th and Flagler in downtown West Palm Beach is the Butler cabin of sport fishing. This is, like I said, hallowed ground, and we're darn lucky that it's still here. It's a really wonderful place.
One of the things that I'm happy to see when they redid the bridge going from West Palm to Palm Beach, the fact that now you can see the clubhouse from the road, and you guys have the Sailfish mount on the side. It's so cool when you're driving into it, because with the old bridge you would never see it.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It was hidden because there was like a overpass, and it hid the clubhouse, but we're wide open now. And, the building's on the National Register of Historic Places. It's like the only fishing club on the National Historic Register. I think there might be one other one, maybe the Tuna Club, but yeah, it's really a special place. And so many people over the years have driven by and said, I've always been by that little building and wondered what it was. And now that it's all opened up, they know. We have we've got 1,000-pound blue marlin on the other side of the building. That fish used to hang over Bob Schneider's tackle shop on Blue Heron Boulevard. And we inherited it and put it outside. And it's quite a unique landmark.
That is pretty awesome. That's a little bit of history that a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah, that fish was the Florida state record. I think it was caught, obviously on a Bob Schneider trolling lure, but in Destin, Florida, and it was the Florida state record for quite some time. But
is it still the Florida state record?
I don't think so, and I can't remember the guy. Was it Culberson that caught that fish? A guy named Culberson? I can't remember, but it's not a just an average fish. It is that was a special fish, and so it's got a lot of history and meaning here at the West Palm Beach Fishing Club since it came from Bob Schneider.
I think it's pretty awesome, and a lot of people forget how good the fishing is in the Gulf of Mexico, because any of the grander blue marlin that have been caught in Florida have all been out of the Panhandle.
Well, you would know. You would know with the World Tour, but Yeah, I mean, what a fishery that is. Of course, we're spoiled rotten here because the Gulf Stream's right out our front door. I mean, nowhere does the Gulf Stream current come any closer than off the shores of Palm Beach County. And I think that's part of the reason why the West Palm Beach Fishing Club has endured all these years, is because, sport fishing is just so ingrained in the culture of kind of who we are and what we do around here. It's a special place.
It's very special, and it's funny, we talking about the Florida state record for blue marlin. We've got the deckhand of the Florida state record for bluefin tuna just joined in, and that was out of Destin as well.
Wow.
That was the one that they caught 3 years ago on the You Never Know. So he just joined us in. Uh,
Nice.
Again, Florida is a very it's synonymous with fishing. So again, I feel very lucky and very blessed that I grew up here in West Palm Beach, and kind of the heart of a lot of history is right here in my hometown.
Yeah.
So that is great. Now, Tom, how long have you been with the West Palm Beach Fishing Club?
Well, my hair was bright red when I started. It's a little white now, so
Yeah, but
that
that's
might give you some
I,
indication.
I
A
also
little
know
long in the tooth, and yeah, I've been
I
here
know
over 30 years, Fly. How about that?
I know your two sons, so they probably had something to do with all that white hair.
Yeah, it really sucks when your sons become better fishermen than you are, But at least I got them started on the right foot.
You
They're really good fishermen, though.
you can't say that sucks, because you got to remember they started off right where you were, and you taught them as much as you possibly could,
Oh yeah,
and
they
then now they've gone and spread their wings, and they've gone all kinds of places.
Yeah, they really have, and they've taken it to a whole nother level. And of course, my youngest son Eddie works in the industry on the Follow Me, and he's been all around the world with Captain Robbie there, and Wes Mate, and Frank, the owner of the boat. What a wonderful family and operation. Eddie's been a part of the last 3 years, and so just really, really good for him. And he's learned a thing or two on that boat. Let me put it that way.
I'm sure under the tutelage of Robbie Moore, he's learned quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's learned quite a bit. So let's break this off into a couple little things. First of all, I see Rob Lane just joined in. He said to say hello to Tom.
Lifetime member of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, Rob Lane, I would
What
say.
when was the last time Rob Lane was in the club, though? I gotta ask.
Been a while, but I tell you what, his name's on a couple of these trophies around here, so he's already made his mark.
I think, well, yeah, but he's still very, very young, and he could make some more marks. So chop chop, Rob. Let's
We
get
miss
to it.
those guys. You need to get back down here, Rob. We miss you.
So one of the, and I know because I've fished a tournament with Rob and his dad, but one of the oldest tournaments in the country is the Silver Sailfish Derby, which is one of the tournaments that are put on by the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. If you can tell everybody a little bit about the history of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, of the Silver Sailfish Derby.
Yeah. So it's like, do you have 6 hours for me to talk? Because
Go for it, Tom. Tom, if you're going to talk, this is the time.
Anybody that's ever been to a Derby dinner knows I am never short on words when we talk about the Derby and the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. But yeah, so and the Lane crew, man, what great people, what great people. So yeah, the Silver Sailfish Derby is the oldest sailfish tournament in the world. It started in 1935. And the only 2 years that it hasn't run was during the Second World War, when there were German U-boats off the coast and gasoline rations. So, it's got an incredible history, not because that it's endured all these years, and it's certainly formatted a lot different than it originally was, but it really is the marquee event of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, and really put the club on the map in the early years, because in the 1930s, think about it, Fly, this part of the world was coming out of the Great Depression, and a lot of the charter boats that were here, and there was quite a significant charter boat fleet, they were like owner operators, and they were struggling in a depression. And so the whole idea of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club and the Silver Sailfish Derby was to stimulate tourism. And this is way back before, there were Miami Marlins or the Miami Heat or the Miami Dolphins. I mean, sport fishing was like the in thing to do. And it was unique to this area. And so it lured, pardon the pun, it lured a lot of folks from the Northeast down here who were wintering in Palm Beach anyways, and got them turned on to sport fishing. And it really gave a good shot in the arm to the local charter boat fleet and stimulated local tourism. It was very successful. So that's the early history of the Derby. And then, over the years, it was originally a kill tournament. For the longest sailfish was the top award. And it didn't take long to realize that we couldn't keep piling sailfish up at the dock. And so the Silver Sailfish Derby is the one that gave birth to the little red release pennant, the idea of flying a flag and that signified you caught a fish and let it go. And so good for the fish, still get bragging rights back at the dock, of course, with all the laundry out. And that is one of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club's greatest conservation legacy. Just the advent of the red release pennant. And of course, it's accepted that the catch and release ethic and the flying of flags is accepted around the world now. And it all started in the 1930s here at the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, catching and releasing Atlantic sailfish. And so we've built upon that conservation legacy over the years. We were quick to embrace circle hooks, of course, and we have all kinds of rules that kind of level the playing field and don't put too much pressure on the fish. Tag and release has always been a big part of the Silver Sailfish Derby. We've tagged tens of thousands, and that's no exaggeration, since the early 1960s, Atlantic sailfish. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we send out these catch and release certificates and tag certificates. Just really a special tournament, wonderful history. And when we talk about the Derby with other people, they say they want to be a part of that history. They like the Silver Sailfish Derby because they feel like they're a part of sport fishing's wonderful history. And like I said, some of the early things that happened in the Silver Sailfish Derby really made a mark in the conservation world and in the bill fishing world. And so people want to be a part of that. And the Ray Trophy, which is our top sailfish trophy, goes to the top individual angler. It's the oldest trophy in competitive bill fishing. It's a spectacular silver thing. And to get your name on that is really special. So it really hasn't been about the money in the Derby, although, we have some side betting and stuff that we always have, but it's more about the prestige and being a part of something really special.
Now, for those of the people that don't know, and correct me where I'm wrong, but when the Silver Sailfish Derby first started, didn't the tournament used to be 28 days long?
Yeah, it was over a month long some years. Yeah. And
Really?
it was set up to support the charter boat industry. So how it would work was there really wasn't an entry fee for anglers. It was if you were fishing on a Derby registered boat, then you were eligible for all these great prizes. And it would go on for, like you say, 20 days, 30 days. And so some people would come here for weeks at a time and charter a boat for a week to fish the Silver Sailfish Derby. In fact, for a period of time, Ernest Hemingway, we all know who he is, right? Sponsored a Derby trophy. Johnny Rybovich, who was the president of the fishing club in the 1950s, got Ernest Hemingway to sponsor a Silver Sailfish Derby trophy. And it was called the Old Man in the Sea trophy. And it was a pair of hand-carved bookends with an autographed copy of the Old Man in the Sea from Ernest Hemingway. Think of that.
Wow.
And the winner of this award would pick 3 days during the Derby. They would have to pre-select 3 days. And when they fished those days, their tally of number of sailfish releases would be their score. And the person who picked the 3 days and had the highest number of releases won the Old Man and the Sea trophy. In the early 1960s, Johnny Rybovich needed a top trophy for the Masters angling tournament, which used to be held for many years at Palm Beach. And so because he got Ernest to sponsor the trophy, he gracefully took the trophy from the Derby and made it the top, because it wasn't the top Derby trophy. So he made it the top angling trophy in the Masters tournament. And a number of our members have those trophies in their homes, including past President John Jolly, who won the Masters his rookie year as a freshman, which is very unusual. Yeah.
Wow.
Little history there.
No,
I mean, there's so much history in the Derby, but we actually have an Old Man in the Sea trophy here in the clubhouse. Autographed copy of the Old Man in the Sea.
And
the
see, and I didn't know this all the times that I've been there.
Yeah, very special, very special.
I guess I'm too busy talking every time I'm at the club. Go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure. Now the Derby's not the only thing you guys do. That's just your biggest event. Tell us some of the other events you guys put on throughout the years.
We're so involved in the community, Fly. It's hard to isolate them all. But so through the fishing club, we have a charitable foundation, and so we do lots of things in the community through our foundation. When you're a member of the club, a portion of your dues supports the foundation, and then we have other fundraising events for the foundation. But one of our marquee events in the community is something we call Kids Fishing Day. And for over 30 years, we've been reaching out to underserved kids in the community, mostly inner city kids that really haven't had an experience of boating and fishing offshore. And so we take kids from different church groups and mentoring groups, boys and girls clubs, and for 3 days each summer, we load them up on a drift boat, and we do a total of 12 trips. We usually take about 350 kids offshore. For many of them, it's the first time they've ever been on a big boat and cleared the inlet. And so to take a kid that's never been out on the ocean before, that lives here in Palm Beach County, and set them on a big drift boat, and when the captain fires up those big diesel engines and the boat shakes to life, those kids' eyes are like, oh my gosh, you'd think they'd be on a roller coaster at Disney World or something. And it's such a rewarding thing because we're introducing kids to something that they can do the rest of their life, fishing. We're introducing them to a part of the world that's right in their backyard that many of them have never really experienced. Many of them catch their first ever fish. I mean, you put a 10-year-old on his first saltwater fish, and it's a bonita. I mean, trust me, he's ruined. Yeah, that kid's ruined for the rest of his life.
That was me.
Yeah,
that was me. I remember my first bonita. I remember my first barracuda. Those two things, never mind. I was done after that. I couldn't get enough of it.
It really is. I mean, you know, people forget their relatives, but they never forget the fish they catch, you know? I mean, they always remember those fish, you know? And so we've really made a mark on a lot of kids in this community. We've taken over 14,000 kids through this program. And we have a lot of wonderful community partners on this. The Marine Industries Association of Palm Beach County has been our presenting sponsor since we started this thing over 30 years ago. But every kid gets, you know, a hot dog, they get fed, they get t-shirts, they go home with a brand new rod and reel, and we teach them. There's an educational part of this program where we teach the kids how to use the tackle, how to release a fish, try to preach a little conservation, a lot on habitat. So we're big on really emphasizing the importance of marine habitat to these kids and water quality. And so they learn if there's no habitat, there's no fish. And so that's one of the programs we do. But for our club members, we have an annual fishing contest that goes all year long. We have an awesome all-time club record program, so people can set club records. You don't even have to kill the fish. We certify hand scales and let people catch, weigh, and release fish. We do a big kingfish, dolphin, wahoo tournament every year. We started these things called pop-up tournaments in recent months. and it's really added value to membership. So if you're a club member, you can fish these pop-up events. We wait for a good weather window when we pick a species of fish. The marine industry is involved in this one and helping us give out some prize money. We have great sponsors that give out coolers and rods and reels from Penn and angle coolers and all kinds of stuff. So a lot of value in being a member of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. And you're also supporting all the wonderful things we do in the community. We have a really active artificial reef program. So we started building these things called Reef Darts, and we're repurposing concrete power poles, some of them up to 45, 50 feet long. 45, I think, is the highest we've gone so far. We've modified a base using old surplus culverts. All of this material is surplus material that would maybe end up in a landfill or have to be recycled by a utility company or a contractor. And we build these things called reef darts. And when you push them off the barge fly, they go down through the water column and they end up upright in the water column. And so we're building a forest of these reef darts. And we all fish around bridge pilings and channel markers and oil rig platforms. We know what things sticking up in the water column can do for our fishing. And these reef darts, this will be the 4th year we've deployed them. We're going to deploy 40 of them next month. And this is really cool stuff. Very innovative because it's self-righting. When you push it in the water, it sticks right up. And there's applications for this. We think we're building a template that other coastal communities can use so they don't have to dump old power poles and culverts into their landfills or spend money recycling them. We put them to good use. We repurpose them and make some great marine habitat. So we're really excited about this.
I actually referenced you to a contact I have in New Zealand. They were looking for an artificial reef program, and I had given him your phone number to reach out to you because they were looking for something to do down there.
Well, what's cool about it is that, I mean, we like to get ships. We've sunk a number of ships out here over the years, but they're hard to come by and they're really expensive and takes a lot of permitting to get them cleaned and transported. And so we got frustrated because we couldn't find ships fast enough to sink out here. So we said, well, in the interim, let's come up with some unique design that adds a lot of high vertical profile in the water column. And so we came up with reef darts, and we'll pepper reef darts around other ships if we get them. And there's a lot of applications for these things. So we're real excited about that. Going back to being a member of the club, we have all kinds of annual trophies. So we have sailfish trophies, tag and release trophies, blue marlin trophies, big snook trophies. And a lot of our members really respond favorably to some of these year-long competitions for some of the trophies we have. And then inside this clubhouse, under normal times, we have wonderful club meetings, and we have featured guest speakers that come and give seminars, as you know, on everything from how to catch a snook under the lights at night to trolling the rip for blue marlin, out in the middle of the Gulf Stream. So, and those are really popular. And, I could go on and on about all.
No, keep going on and on because people are commenting. There's some great stuff. Richie Bright has joined in. He says hello from the Buccaneer. I didn't want to interrupt you, but we've got people from Sierra Leone have jumped in, the Galapagos, Treasure Key in the Bahamas. I see Cabo San Lucas in here, Hawaii, Hawaii. So we've got a lot of people jumping in here. So I don't want to interrupt your stories because these are some great, great stories.
So, yeah, I mean, one of the things that we're really big on, and I alluded to it earlier, is not just kids. Kids is huge. So we do a lot of programs. We have a program called a Salty program where we get a kid and a parent to come to the clubhouse. We teach them how to tie knots, twist wire, rig ballyhoo, and then we go out the next day with the kid and the parent. We usually have up to about 20 kids and parents on the boat, and we do hands-on instruction. And part of the idea there is really to try and get the kid and the parent learning together, connected to the water so that they can do some of this stuff on their own. And so not just our kids fishing day program, but these are for little older kids. And we're we're just really working hard to keep kids and families excited about fishing, because this crazy world we're living in, it's so easy for kids to get disconnected from the outdoors. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I grew up, without cell phones. I'd go out in my little tin boat up on Lake Erie and go camping on an island and wouldn't come back for 2 days, with a buddy. And that kind of stuff doesn't happen a lot anymore. And so we really are trying to strengthen those connections that kids can help them find their way to the water, give them the tools and the knowledge to really make it a lifelong passion like it is for us. And also strengthen the bonds between the kid and the parent, because if we find if they learn together, what a wonderful fishing is just a wonderful family activity. You'll do it the rest of your life with your kids.
Absolutely.
And it's so important, so important. And so we put a lot of emphasis on that kind of stuff around here.
Cool. I want to just throw something out here, and I will give him your contact information. Mr. Haynes Hoffman Jr., he owns Blue Water Copper Works, and he said he'd like to donate a trophy to the West Palm Beach Fishing Club.
Oh, awesome. That's
so
great.
He's watching right now, and he said he would like to donate a trophy to the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. So I will make sure I put you guys together.
Please do.
And Haynes, I believe you're in North Carolina, correct me if I'm wrong. And then I'm a big fan of his, he's joining in, Mr. Tarzan. I don't know, do you know Tarzan?
The kid, Tarzan?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, Tony DeGulian,
Okay.
Yeah, Tony's been real supportive of the club. He was on our last Salty program, in fact, Tony was. I've seen him blowing up Tarzan Man there. So,
yeah.
Hey buddy, how are you?
He joins in every day. I've gone up and gone fishing with him, and he says, I'm online doing schoolwork right now.
I love it. I love it.
He's listen, it's great to see this next generation that is coming up, and it's they have the same enthusiasm. And I know, listen, I'm 47 years old, and I'm on a couple group text messages with some grumpy old captains. And
no, there's not grumpy old captains, is there?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, guys, no. And they're talking about, today's kids, they don't. Man, I'm watching kids like Tarzan. I just got reached out by a kid the other day, Nicholas. He's going out bass fishing every afternoon, just got a new rod. So
yeah,
this is the next generation, and they really they like the encouragement. Answer the questions. I spend 3 to 5 hours every day answering every single comment, every single question, every single email that comes in. And it's important because those are the guys that are going to replace us.
Yeah, no. Well, our chairman of the board, Pete Schultz, up at Fishing Headquarters in Jupiter, right? Pete and I are on the same page when it comes to kids and families and getting that next generation involved. And it is so important. And it's a simple thing to do. And I always said, give a kid a cast net. It's better than a babysitter, man. Send a kid out with a cast net, and oh my gosh, that keeps them busy for hours. But here's another thing that we do with kids that's really, we've had a lot of success with, that's really meaningful, I think. We do a lot of partnering with our local county officials on habitat enhancement work. So we're planting mangroves and Spartina grass in the Lake Worth Lagoon. And you want to talk about getting kids connected to the water and getting them invested in the outdoors. You take a group of kids out there and plant about 1,000 mangroves on an island. Every time they drive by, they point to that and said, I helped build that island. They are personally invested in it. This week, 2 days this week, Fly, we were up at MacArthur Beach State Park doing oyster restoration work. Now, it doesn't take a real brilliant person to do the work we were doing. We we were literally loading rocks up in buckets and moving them from point A to point B. So strong backs and weak minds were this. But the bigger point is that you get kids out there doing this kind of work, they become invested in the resource. And again, our mantra, no habitat, no fish. You get kids out there doing this kind of stuff, they get really into it, and it really connects them to their world, and gives them purpose. And so we feel really strongly about this kind of stuff, and we've been doing it a long time around here.
Now, with all the and I'm going to take this opportunity, and I apologize if I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, but I think it's a big deal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all of this work that you've done introducing fishing to youths, they have honored you in inducting you into the Sports Hall of Fame here in Palm Beach County, correct?
I think they were really desperate that year.
But listen, I mean, Tom, first of all, number one, that's a big deal in it from any sport. But a lot of people forget that fishing is a sport.
Yeah.
And when you get the recognition for that crossover, where they put you in the names of some of the greatest people that have come out of our county for sports, and you're one of them. You now you're blushing. Now you're blushing. But it's well deserved, because you have introduced this sport to so many people here, and I'm very proud of it, because this is my home. I grew up, and right before we came online, we were talking about Throwback Thursdays, about your fishing reports on Channel 5, and I remember watching them as a kid.
Now you're making me feel old, but I don't know, Fly. I mean, the induction in the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame was great. I was I know as the first fisherman, I think I'm the only fisherman that's ever been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, they must have been desperate, but
you are the only fisherman. But that's so awesome. I mean, me as a fisherman, I think that is so awesome that that you were recognized for that.
Yeah, no, it was a wonderful honor. I'm very proud of it, but honors like that are only accomplished with so many people behind you. I'm standing on the shoulders of so many people that are part of the team that make this stuff happen. I always say I'm the one that just talks too much and was on TV too long. So, but that was an honor. But we've got lots of work to do, and we're still doing it around here. I've just been the next one in line here at the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. I had the baton passed to me. I've been here 30 years. I wish Buzz was here, but we got Tommy Buzz, bringing him up in the ranks. We'll be passing the baton to him and the next generation of people that are involved in things like the Silver Sailfish Derby and our kids fishing programs. That we're just trying to lay the groundwork for the next group of people to come in and keep this thing going.
I have a question for you that just came in. When's the next time you're going to do the mangrove planting?
So we have what we call our mangrove and oyster army of volunteers. So whoever that person is, if you just tell them to reach out to me or send me a text or email, I'll add them to our list, and so they'll get updates on when we're doing the next enhancement project.
I will give you. It's Tarzan. He wants to come down and do it, and I told him he can come down with me. Because I was going to take him to the IGFA Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. His mom was going to drop him off here, and I was going to run him down. So I just told him, you let me know, and you can come spend the night here, and I'll go out and plant mangroves with you.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's dirty work, but like I said, you get invested in it. We we really enjoy participating in those enhancement projects. So
That's way
that's
cool.
for volunteers.
Now here's another thing, and you haven't touched on it, but it is one of my favorites. Even though every time I show up, I'm extremely exhausted, tired, and windburned, is the barbecue every year.
Yeah.
I love going to the barbecue. Last year, I didn't even get a chance to eat. I just walked in, said hello to everybody because it's the same day as the Dust 'em Off tournament. So
Yeah.
we fish all day long, and and this past year it was rainy and rough, and there's a picture of me and Snick up on the bow, part of a triple header, and it's like 10 foot, and we're holding on for dear life. We're like hiding in the anchor locker. I've got a camera in my hand to prove we caught the sailfish. And but your barbecue is a very big thing that happens every year.
It is. We usually have like 500 people come. It's where we hand out all of our annual awards. It's where we recognize all of our peewee anglers that have entered fish in the club. They all go home with a new pen, rod, and reel and a trophy with their name on it. It's a really big deal. Probably not going to look the same this year, only because of the world we're living in. A group gathering of 500 in an enclosed space with finger foods and bounce houses and isn't real conducive to this crazy whacked out world we're in right now. So, but we've had to alter a lot of the events just like the rest of the world. And I know we don't need to dwell on all that stuff, but we're figuring it out, man. We're doing stuff. We do stuff around here. And even though we can't gather in big numbers right now, we're doing really good stuff. I mean, these pop-up tournaments have become really popular. It doesn't cost anything. If you're a club member, you could win some great cash and prizes. And we're always picking weekends that it's really nice weather to go. And so people are fishing anyway. So here's a motivation to get them to target a certain species. So this weekend we have Clash of the Kings. And so basically it's a one-day kingfish tournament. If you're a member, you just text Buzz or call the club, you're in. And we have an additional buy-in, a 2 aggregate fish if you want to play that game. But we did a blackfin blitz, we did a bonita bonanza, we did a mahi and mutton madness pop-up. This is an idea that's really taken off in the club. Joella Calloway, who works here, is the one that came up with this idea. This is her brainchild, and it has just really, really taken off. We've been doing them now for quite a while, and the response has been great because people are going anyway. So we're just providing a platform for them to participate. And once things settle down in the real world, we'll be adding some social events to these things. It's great. It's like a one-day outing, a lot of fun, and it's good stuff.
It's really cool. Our sport has definitely taken a shot in the arm, and really, no pun intended with that one, but it's really taken a shot in the arm because of COVID. I was speaking with the president of the Largemouth Bass Hall of Fame the other day, and I had told him that I had heard that we had introduced somewhere around 6 million new fishermen nationwide. And he said, I was stood corrected because he says, no, that number is more like 9 million new fishermen. And it could be as high as 12, considering that there could be somewhere up to 2 to 3 million people that are fishing without getting a license. That's where they're tracking the number of fishermen. So right now because of COVID, we've added 9 million new fishermen nationwide, which I think is awesome. I think is so awesome.
Well, I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. Fishing, is something you do the rest of your life. And so it's something that people feel safe doing. They can do it with their family, their close, group of friends. And hey, Fly, our membership is up. We're growing through all of this craziness.
That's awesome.
We have grown because people want to fish, and they can fish and feel safe doing it. So shameless plug for the club. Hey, go to our website, join the club. It's only $80 a year to be an adult member. I mean, some people think this is some kind of high and falutin fancy private club. It's $80 to be a member, $25 if you're under 18 years old.
How about if you act under 18?
Yeah.
Does that
We
count?
have a lot of those. We have a lot of those in the club.
Now,
Like,
first
come
of all,
on, join the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. We're doing stuff. We're doing stuff that improves the water quality, the habitat. We're building reefs. We're introducing kids to fishing. This place rocks, man. It's one of the best clubs in the entire world when it comes to fishing.
so first of all, that's not a shameless plug, because I was going to let you say something, but no, but here's another thing I wanted you to bring up for people that don't understand. Like, we saw Rob Lane in here. He's a lifetime member, but his home is in New Jersey. How many members are there that don't even live in Florida? You have so many members, or we have so many members that don't live here in Florida. They're members and they live in Missouri, they live in Pennsylvania, they live in Texas, they live all over the place.
We have them all over. We have them in Puerto Rico, Canada, the Bahamas.
I just found, I see you have one from Michigan, Joe Shaden, proud member from Michigan. He just joined in.
My high school buddy from Ohio lives in Hinsdale, Illinois, and he just joined the club this year. I told him, what the heck took so long, you know? No, your point is well taken. I think, you know, part of it is people that fish the Derby, people that are down here seasonally, maybe they participate in one of our events or come to our annual yard sale, that crazy yard sale that we have every year. They get connected to the club. It's not expensive to be a part of it, and they feel like this is a really good thing. I mean, we have them all over the country, and it's been that way for a really long time. And they see the good stuff that this organization has done through the years in the community for kids, for habitat, for reefs, and they just want to be a part of it. And what a better way to support those kinds of initiatives than just joining the club. You get, by the way, here I have a prop here for you. Our magazine, our annual magazine, the good work of Joella Calloway in here. All of this, every member is listed in this magazine every year, and the years that they've been members. If you go down this list, it's ridiculous. Like Jack Nicklaus has been a member almost 50 years.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy, and it's fun. So people like keep track of the number of years they've been a member. And so you join the club, you get our annual magazine, and there's lots of good stuff in there. And, you know, and they're supporting all these things that we've been talking about that we do in the community. So anyways, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's great stuff. And tight lines, are we come on, you got to tell us where the tight lines, I know where it comes from.
So yeah, well, you probably don't know that the history. So our magazine is called the Tight Lines Bulletin, and what Fly's referring to is, for about a dozen years, I did a TV show locally called Tight Lines, and it aired on the local newscasts. So this was back in the day. So I started doing those, Fly, in 1988. So
wow,
that was before the World Wide Web was invented.
I was a senior in I was a sophomore in high school then.
So people tuned into TV to get like their fishing fix, and fishing reports were like a regular thing on local newscasts back in the day. And because there was no internet, they had a magazine, but vicariously they wanted to see the video and stuff.
Exactly.
So I went to work for Channel 25 back in 1988. That was the ABC affiliate, and then Channel 5 hired me away, and the TV station was right across the street from the fishing club. So it was really convenient. And I worked there for probably like 6 years doing Tight Lines reports. And then the last 6 years I worked at WPEC Channel 12. That's the 1 2 turn 2, I think they go.
Oh, you did it.
And
I can't believe it. You did do.
but Mr. Dreyfus, Alex Dreyfus, who's a fisherman, owned not only PEC Channel 12, but also Sailfish Marina. So it was a great fit. All, you know, the epicenter of the charter boat fleet here, that wonderful marina that we are fortunate to have in our backyard. And so I did these fishing reports that would air on the 6 o'clock news, and I had a captured audience. Think about it. People weren't really, a lot of them weren't tuning in to see this ugly face and hear me talk about how to rig a mullet or you know, how to
Yes.
catch a snook on fly.
Yes, we were.
But the beauty of it was that's the audience we were growing, right? So we were kind of, with Tight Lines, turning new people on to fishing. And then, you know, we had some Tight Lines groupies too, but you know, it was great. So during this craziness, I dug into this stack of old tapes I have in a box at home and said, I wonder if we shouldn't start doing some throwbacks, you know? And so not every Thursday, but on some Thursdays we do Tight Lines throwbacks. And this is Thursday. And oh, by the way, Buzz is going to post another throwback probably a little after 5 o'clock tonight. But yeah, people are like really responding to this because it's so funny to see the clothes we wore. So some of these, you know, these things are 30 some years old, some of them. And, you know, the rigs we used, the fishing techniques we used, and I did these reports with a lot of really well-known people. So I did them with Bouncer Smith and George Poveromo and you know, just all kinds of people that people would recognize today. But this was back when they were young, and it's really fun. It's kind of a, you know, a walk down memory lane. I'm nothing but a was-been fly, but it's kind of fun to kind of resurrect some of these things. I mean, I get a kick out of it, and we've had a pretty good response. And, you know, it was always done to help promote the West Palm Beach Fishing Club and to kind of be an ambassador of the sport of fishing. And so people like you that were kids watching it, you know, when they were home, it makes me feel good that
I loved it. I always looked forward to, and back then, and it's so funny you used the word tape. And I was going to ask you, please describe tape for some of our audience that don't know what it is. But back in the day, it wasn't like you set your DVR to record it. You had to be home when it came on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to have to write the intros to these things because it was weird because they would come out of like some real serious news story. Like, you know, maybe some big business went bankrupt and they're, you know, serious reporters, you know, giving the lowdown on this latest development. And now we go to Tom Twyford, who's going to show us how to catch a ladyfish on a jig or something, you know. And it was just a weird transition. So I would always have to write these things because the newscasters weren't fishermen, most of them. And so I would have to teach them how to pronounce certain words. And sometimes they would come out of the report and the looks on their faces on the news desk, they would be like, you know, like filleting a fish, or, you know, it was, I don't know. It was funny. It was really
great.
It was great while it lasted, and it filled that niche in that time and place, I guess. And so, you know, I feel fortunate that I had the opportunity to do it, to represent the West Palm Beach Fishing Club on the nightly news in town, you know, and it was fun. It was a good thing for the club, good thing for fishing, and it's kind of fun to do these throwbacks. But yeah, I don't think I'm getting back in the TV business anytime.
It's amazing how fast 30 years goes by.
Oh yeah. Like I said, my hair was bright red when I started this gig. So.
Well, it's okay. I tell everybody when I first started fishing, I was blonde hair, blue eyes, and 6'4". Now look at me. I've shriveled up like a raisin. The salt air and the sun has burnt me down.
You've been brined one too many times, buddy. Yeah.
I'm sun-dried like a raisin.
Oh, good stuff.
So for anybody that wants to get in contact with the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, what are some of the best ways?
Well, you know, this is why we hired a millennial around here. So we're connected on all the platforms, Fly. You know, I mean, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. You know, the Fishing Club website is a good resource. You can join online. You know, there's lots of ways to stay connected to us. We do email, so if you become a member, you get our email announcements. And, you know, we're not one of these organizations that beats our members up all the time. You know, I just want to assure anybody that's thinking about joining, you know, we're not going to be beating you up. It's just an opportunity to be a part of a really special place. So, you know, go to our website, call us on the telephone. We still answer the telephone around here. And
You
we
have
do
a
go
regular landline too.
we have landlines. Yes.
You
We got
still
rid
have
of the old rotary phones a little while ago, not too long ago though.
So the old rotary phone, did it still have the cord connected to it?
It did.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. And there was a gal here. This is a true story. So we had these big black rotary phones, the real heavy ones from Bell South. You know, you probably don't even
No,
know
I
what I'm talking
remember
about.
them.
But the gal that used to work here, and bless her heart and soul, the late great Frances Doucette. So this gal, she kept the club together. You know, any organization that's been around for over 80 years has ups and downs, you know, highs and lows. Well, Frances was there who kept this place going during one of those low periods long before I got here. But I'm going back to the phone. She used to always answer the phone and everything. She kept meticulous records on every member. She had like a little dossier on every member. And if you got divorced, if you moved, if you changed boats, she had record of it on these little like recipe cards. And anyways, she was like a grandmother to a lot of people that grew up in the club. And she would answer the phone, but she wore a lot of makeup. And when I started working here, the rotary phone, the thing, I picked it up. I swear it was so caked with makeup around the mouthpiece. It was disgusting. And I said, Frances, what? I can't use this phone. I got to clean this thing up, you know. But that rotary phone was still here, and I had to like scrape the makeup, Frances's makeup off of it. But good stuff, Frances. I mean, so many great people have come and gone and been a part of this place, Fly. It's just a real honor for me to be the president now and just you know, guide it into the future. And you know, with all these great kids that are super active in the club, it's going to be in good hands for another 80, 100 years. You know, really special place.
That's awesome. It's really cool. And like I said, I'm very proud to have it part of my hometown. With all the different places around the world I go, it is so neat. Actually, when I remember when I went, my first time I went to Japan, you guys gave me,
Yeah.
go ahead. You guys
Yeah.
gave me the book.
But when I found out you were going to Japan, I'm like, you got to present them with a West Palm Beach Fishing Club Burgee and our 70th. We had just come out with our 75th anniversary book, and we autographed it and did it all up. And you did a formal presentation, didn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I went out to dinner with all of the board members, and I gave it to them as a gift. It was, I think I had 2 bags that I took with me, and more than 1.5 of the bags was just gifts to give everybody.
Yeah.
And so we presented it to the Japanese Game Fish Association.
The West Palm Beach Fishing Club Burgee, this little thing right here, the Burgee, the flag that we fly, that thing flies in so many places. We have sent those all around the world, and people are really proud to hang this little old Burgee. We have them in different sizes, but you know, of course, they fly them from their boats, but they hang in a lot of tiki bars around the world. Trust me.
A lot of tiki bars, a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
A lot of clubs.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a big community, you know. We love supporting other fishing clubs because we know that's the future, you know. I mean, all of these clubs provide, and they're not all as big and and involved maybe as the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, but they serve a role, and they really fill a niche that needs to be filled, needs to stay filled, and so we're really thankful we have a really special club here.
It's you know, it's something that I pass on to a lot of people when they ask me, "Oh, what makes you so successful in fishing?" And what I tell everybody, the biggest thing is my network. Uh, and how do you create that network? And I always tell everybody the first step I would do is join your local fishing club, because now you instantaneously get to plug into all these other fishermen and fisher ladies in your community. And there's something to be said when you want to go fishing on whatever day it is, you have 10 or 20 people that you can call and find out, hey, what's biting, what's going on, what should I expect? And that right there, information is the biggest thing.
It is, and I mean, we have a network of over 1,400 West Palm Beach Fishing Club members, and they fish all over the world, like you said. I mean, they're from all walks of life, and they do all kinds of fishing. And it's a great place if you really want to pursue this passion of fishing. Join a fishing club and get to know the people. I mean, it's the people that makes this place special. We have a wonderful history, incredible conservation legacy, but what keeps it going are the people and the personalities. And there's a lot of really cool people in this one, I can tell you that.
There's definitely a lot of personality.
Oh yeah, we have some really big personalities. And, yeah, yeah. No, it's
Well,
great. They're fishermen, man.
exactly.
Fisher women, fishermen, kids. I mean, some of the kids we have in this place, oh my gosh, they're such good fishermen, these kids. They are
You know who's and I remember this past year I went specifically to say hello to him, was Noah.
yeah, Noah
Uh,
Sable, yeah.
he is, what an incredible fisherman he is. And
His
when I went,
brother Brady is currently leading our Nora Award, which is for the biggest snook of the year. I mean, this is a really prestigious award in the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. Brady Zabel is leading it, but Noah Zabel, I guarantee you, is taking credit for that fish because he put Brady on it. So
well, you know what? If
never
there's any,
forget.
the between the two of them, they're very competitive.
Oh yeah.
They're very competitive. And I know Noah, because I get tagged in a lot of, or my company page gets tagged in a lot of his photos. And if he tags it, I'll share it. But he always blurs out everything around him because he doesn't want nobody to know where
Yeah.
he's fishing.
That's funny. Yeah.
So he's so competitive.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, these kids are great. They're really talented. And like I said, it's so important to keep them connected to the water, keep them connected to fishing, especially with their family. It just nothing but good can come from it, and it's keeps kids out of trouble, right? I mean,
It kept me out of trouble.
yeah,
It really did. I mean, my mom could cut me loose. Hey, I'm going to go fishing, and leave me on the bridge or the spillway or the pier and come back 10 hours later and I'm still there.
yeah.
So,
And
sunburnt, but I was still there.
think about all the life lessons that you learn when you're fishing, when you're a kid. I mean, self-reliance and personal responsibility and all of the things that you take with you in life anywheres, whether you're fishing or not. I mean, you've got to be kind of independent, and you got to figure things out. And that's a healthy exercise. That's a great exercise for kids, whether you catch a fish or not. You're doing stuff that's helping you become a better person.
Absolutely. It is a huge thing. And I'm very fortunate. So that's why I try to encourage as many people as possible to take on this sport,
Yeah.
because it opens so many doors, and it lets you see. For me, it's allowed me to see the world.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel so blessed. This has been my life. I mean, gosh, what's not to like about this? This is my office right here, Fly.
That's
This is where I come to work every day. It's pretty cool stuff. And I've made a career out of talking fishing and showing people how to fish. And man, I feel fortunate for that. And my kids, so proud of them, and you know, and just the meaningfulness of this institution. You know, to have the ability to, you know, to just, you know, help guide this one down the path has it's been really, really rewarding. You know, I didn't really mention it, but this charitable foundation that we have, this is what will perpetuate the West Palm Beach Fishing Club forever and ever. We started long ago under the wise guidance of our board and some leaders in the club. We started an endowment. So like a lot of big universities and stuff, we have a special fund that helps us fund a lot of these things that we do in the community. And we keep growing that endowment so that we can keep building more reef darts and taking more kids fishing. And, you know, this is what will perpetuate the West Palm Beach Fishing Club in perpetuity. And really proud that we have this charitable arm to keep the lights on around here and to keep this thing going hard, you know, because it's a really, really special institution. There's not another one like it. Not another one like it.
Well, I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So have we missed anything?
Well, you know, I can keep talking.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing.
I'm looking at this all-time club record board. We have this thing in the clubhouse that's a real showpiece, and there's fish on there I could talk about. I mean, there's some really crazy catches in the club, and just the stuff here. I mean, some of these mounts, and I mean, there's a story behind every fish in this building, Fly, and some pretty cool stories. I mean, you know, all-time world records, and I'm looking at Johnny Rybovich's first ever blue marlin hanging over there. And there's Herman Teeter's world record Atlantic sailfish, 123 pounds caught at Walker's Cay. Think about 123-pound Atlantic sailfish. I think that it's been since broken, maybe from Senegal, Africa, or someplace like that. But man, there's just so much to talk about here, and such a cool place, and so many cool people that are actively involved. I mean, it's the people that make it work, like you said, and just the fact that this building's on the National Register of Historic Places makes us feel good. We worked really hard to get on the National Historic Register because there's, like I said, there's not another place like it. It isn't big, but what's here is pretty darn special. And
you know what? It's big enough.
Yeah,
it's big enough.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Oh, people have like said, oh, you should build a bigger clubhouse somewhere. No. We are a lean, mean operating machine right here. And we got it figured out. We know what we need to do to contribute to the community and not get top heavy and not, I mean, this is all we need. And it's worked for over 80 years, and it'll work for another 80 years because it's the stuff we do in the community. It's the relationships that we make in the industry. You know, like Penn Fishing Tackle has been a sponsor of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club for over 60 years. Over the Henze family, that's the family that started Penn Fishing Tackle, used to fish in the Silver Sailfish Derby in the 1950s. We have pictures of them. Their boat was called the Senator, like a Penn Senator, you know.
Penn Senator.
I mean, so we have industry relationships like that just are so, it's kind of unusual, you know. A lot of businesses and heck, a lot of marriages don't last this long, you know. So, you know, so we've got something pretty special going here, you know. So it's
I love it.
It's just a really special place. I don't know, you know. Of course, I'm pretty biased.
You know, and it's understandable. You're biased, but it's your baby.
Yeah, well, it's everybody. I mean, we have 1,400 members. So
well, and like you were saying, the club is not the building. The club is all the things you do, the outreach in the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. And like I said, we do stuff. We do some pretty cool stuff, and we'll keep doing it. And we've got just just a lot of wonderful support. You know, I mean, it doesn't work without partners. It's a, it's a, it's a, you know, it's just a great thing to see come together. So
Excellent. Well, I'm going to have you hold there for a second. We're going to sign off here. To all you cool cats and kittens, thanks for joining us here in this No BS World Tour. Tom and the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, thank you so much for your time today. Do not hang up on me while we sign off. But everybody, thank you so much. And if you have any other questions for Tom, I'll make sure you have his contact info. So everybody, we will catch you next time.